Hello, everybody. Thank you once again for tuning into the In One Ear Out podcast. As always, I'm your host, John, and today it's just me, but I have some great news that I'm willing to share with you guys. Very excited to do so as well. So, as many of you might have heard over the past couple of weeks since our last episode or the episode before I had with Andreas on the YouTube channel for the In One Ear Out podcast, we had discussed the Binghamton Anime and Nerd Convention. I have some updates I'd like to share with you guys on that, and this is going to be today's episode. So, one of the things that I'm very excited to say is we have our venue pretty much set, and the date is also pretty much set. All we have to do is basically pay for it, and we do have the money for that, which is great. There's a couple things I still need to hear back before we're 100% good to go, but as it stands now, and again, we're going to update everybody so that there's a good consistency for the information. So if anybody looks one place and they try to find it, everything lines up correctly. So it'll be at the Holiday Inn on May 4th this year. That's also Star Wars Day, and there's a reason that I picked that day. For the cosplay convention, I want people to dress up. I would love to see people in whatever type of fashion you choose. But truly, we're hoping that people dress up, and there's going to be the cosplay contest to incentivize them. So if you would like to join us, it's going to be free to enter, but if you would like to join the cosplay contest, there is going to be a admission fee for that. It might be like $10 to $15. We're just going to try to keep it nice and cheap, and that'll go towards the prize pool. So whoever wins the contest is just going to be, everybody gets a vote. You can write your vote, your name on a piece of paper, put it in whatever bucket we have or however we decide to set it up, and that'll be your one casting of a vote towards who you hope to win. You can vote for yourself, you can vote for whoever you want. But like I said, if you'd like to be part of the cosplay contest, you are going to have to pay like $10 to $15 just to join. Everybody else is just going to be free admission, and you just go in. There's going to be vendors there. There's going to be plenty of diverse vendors there. Anybody selling any type of things, whether it be things like cards or comic books, manga, figurines or toys. I think we're going to have some food. That's one of the things I'll have to talk about in just a second, what type of vendors we're going to have for food. I'm also hoping to have somebody come that sells knives and just pretty much anything. And the way that we're going to do it, instead of having a setup fee or like a vendor fee, which would be, I don't know, like $100, maybe like $50, what we're going to do instead is we're asking everybody that would like to be a vendor to instead supply goods for a raffle basket. And when we raffle these baskets off, that will be basically the price that you have to pay. So say for instance, and we're taking the risk on that, so you have to pay whatever it is for your merchandise. So if I say, here we have $50 worth of merchandise, that's going to be a retail price, not a wholesale price. So whatever it costs you, whatever you sell it for, say you have 3 comic books, or say you have 4 comic books, each one sells for $12.50. You have 4 of those, that's $50. But to you, you didn't buy them for $12.50. You probably got them for half of that or less than half of that. So that way you're real, the only fee that you really have, and $50 might not be that's just something that we still have in mind. But the way it's going to work is instead of paying a vendor fee to enter, if you're a vendor, if you'd like to sell anything at the convention, instead, all you have to do is supply some goods for your own raffle basket, and we will raffle that off. And the reason I say that we're accepting that risk is if it's a $50 raffle basket that only costs you maybe, like $25, and we raffle it off, if we don't raffle it off for more than $50, then, we're kind of taking that hit. But we're willing to do that because if we have enough vendors come, and hopefully some of them do better than some of the other ones, and the ones that don't do so good, it's made up by the ones that do really good. So that's going to be exciting. We're going to have to talk about that a little bit more in the future as I have details for the exact vendors that are coming. I do know there's some local businesses that are interested that are comic shops that do sell trading cards or whatever else. So that's exciting. I'm very pumped for that. But the reason it's not just an anime con, it's also nerd, is that there's, like I said, for May the 4th, that's the National Star Wars Day, like May the 4th be with you. I think that's kind of cool. So I would hope to see that we have a gigantic group of like stormtroopers, or we have a whole army of Jedi and Sith or something like that. I'll probably bring my lightsaber. I think I'm going to dress up like a Sith. I'm excited for that. I have like a hooded robe and all that good stuff. But anyway, so if you'd like to be a vendor, that's what you're going to have to do. There's going to be a raffle basket. That's going to take the cost off of the smaller vendors, especially those that are like new businesses. Some of the people we've spoken to that are like, hey, I've never done anything like this before. This would basically be like my first exposure to, trying to sell something of my own products. It's like, yeah, we want it to be as inviting as possible. We don't want anybody to come in and feel like they're going to have to spend all this money and not make any money back. So it's very inviting. And like I said, if you just supply goods for the raffle baskets that we end up raffling off, that's all your vendor fee is going to be. And as for everybody else that would like to come in, it's going to be free admission, like I said, except for if you're joining the cosplay contest. And like I said, that could be like $10 to $15 for a ticket. Otherwise, if you're a vendor, if you're a food vendor, we still have to hear back from the exact specifics from the venue to see if we can have all the food vendors we'd like. They did had something to say in the email, so we're just going over our options right now. But as it stands, everything's pretty much good to go. Once I hear back from the person I need to, once we have the date settled, basically I just go to the person that's sponsoring. We say, hey, send that money this way. We get the date, and then we go from there. We can just go and start inviting a bunch of different vendors and people to the to the Anime and Nerd Con. It's a pretty mouthy title, the Binghamton Anime and Nerd Convention. But this video exists as the platform for any questions. If anybody has any questions, please put them in the comments. I have a Discord where we have about 25 people now. We started with 3, technically we started with 2, but now we have 25, so it's pretty cool. We started just like less than a week ago. So if anybody would like to join the Discord as well, it's going to be really helpful because there's a lot of information, and I post in there every day. People are setting up things for video games. They're like, hey, let's play some video games together, join my lobby, or let's hang out together, or here's some pictures of my art. That's fantastic stuff. It's truly amazing. I'm glad that we're building a community that's fostering to this specific type of people, nerds or people that like anime. That's myself included. I absolutely, if you couldn't tell already watching some of the other podcasts on this channel or what I speak about on this channel, I'm a big nerd. I certainly like anime. I love Star Wars and I like video games. So this is like right up my alley. As one of the only organizers, I think there's my business partner certainly helping me out with the raffle baskets and all that. So we have a pretty small team, but as we grow, and then next year I hope to do this again. This is how I plan to have the convention grow. Every year I'm hoping that we have more and more people. That would be great. This year I'm hoping to have 300 to 400 people. That would be very ideal. But the idea is that if we have such a robust cosplay contest and people are like, wow, there's a big enough prize pool, there's a reason for people to fly in from other states. It would make my year. And I'll tell you why this might work out for a lot of people. If people were like, I'm a Hollywood SF or a special effects artist, and I flew in from California because I want to win this cosplay contest this year. I dressed up as whatever, that would be awesome. So when I brought this up to the lady that I was speaking to from the hotel, what she said, if anybody wants to do that, or if they want to stay at the hotel and they're from the convention, we can give them a discount on their room. So that incentivizes people, if they do want to fly out from out of state or from wherever in the entire world, if they want to come to the Binghamton Anime and Nerd Convention, they absolutely can, and they get a discounted price for staying at the hotel which is hosting the convention. So I think that's really cool. I think that's really good for people. Otherwise, it's just going to be, for our first year, as many things work, that's what we're going to keep around. The things that are like, hey, that didn't really work out so well, or I had this idea and it didn't really come through, maybe those are left on the chopping room floor. But that's just kind of how it goes. I've done fair organizing for 3 years so far. Back in 2022, we started the Holistic Health and Wellness Fair. We got about 71 vendors to, they sent in 71 applications. So we had 71 applications for vendors. I think we had 68 people. So there was like 3 people that didn't show or had to cancel last minute. But for our first fair, we had 68 people. And I'm hoping to have maybe like half of that for vendors. 68 vendors. But we had about 770 people or so. But again, that was outside. That was at Ottenangle Park in Binghamton. And this year it's just going to be at a different place. The venue's kind of taking it over. So I thought if I have time to do my own thing, then I might as well, because I enjoy it and I'm good at it. So hopefully that incentivizes people to think, yeah, this is a good thing. I can, invest in this or secure my spot here. So it's always worth it for me. Otherwise, like I said, if anybody has questions or they have ideas, I'm the type of person, I know that I overthink a lot. I try to plan and prepare myself for, life or whatever's ahead of me. But I know that there's advice from people, from the least expected people sometimes, which is the most valuable. So if you feel like you're somebody that has an idea, or you want to share something with me or in any capacity, please do. Don't feel like I'm going to ever be like, oh, that's not a good idea. Or I don't know, that's stupid. That's not who I am. That's not my person. So truly, if you want to share something, or if you'd like to be a part of this, or if you want to be a vendor, or if you want to just show up, I would absolutely appreciate it if you could comment on this video, join our Discord, and just see how things are going so far. If you feel like it's going to work out, then I appreciate your trust in me. I'll say that much. As for what we can expect, like code of conduct, it's just a convention. I don't expect. I'm hoping that people from all ages come. I'm thinking more like 13 up, but there's definitely going to be kids coming. So I would prefer if everybody that did the cosplay contest, they try to keep it PG-13. I don't need to see. We're not hoping that anybody's showing up in like I don't know, the Princess Leia costume from Episode 6 in Jabba's palace. Basically like a bikini top. That I mean, sure. I suppose if people are like really dedicated to doing something like that, then okay. But I would prefer if people try to keep it a little bit more PG-13, a little less rated R, if you understand what I mean. But as far as everything else goes, we are going to have our own security. We're going to have what I refer to as a Minuteman, which are people that have directions or they have information, and they can be security guards, and they can also provide for if a costume's ripped. Because what I've seen is that people go to a cosplay contest, they're all excited, and then the costume they spent 2 months on rips, or something breaks and falls off, and they don't have glue, they don't have sewing supplies, or they don't have whatever else they need, and they just feel so disappointed to have spent so much time working on something and to finally get it to this cosplay contest and be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to win, I'm going to do so great. Then something breaks and you're just like, I have no resource available to help myself right now. And all that time and energy I spent is just for nothing. So that's what we'd like to avoid with the idea for the Minutemen. Like I said, they're basically like, not like the true Minutemen from back in the Revolutionary War in early American times, but moreover the like the helpful people that are just like, hey, you need something in and out in a minute. The security for the hotel is still going to be there. I think they're at least going to be in the hotel, but for the event, we plan on hiring our own. So that's exciting. Otherwise, I can't really think of too much else. This video is not too long, so I honestly might just say a couple more things and then wrap it up for there, just for the convenience of everybody tuning in. Just as well, if you're any type of vendor, or if you're a comic book store or a card shop, or you're a photographer or anything, if you are interested, if you want to be a part of the show, or sorry, if you want to be a part of the con, or if you want to be a vendor at the con, or if you just want to be on the team for the con, by all means, we're very accepting of everybody who's willing to help us or that would like to be a part of this, because with your help, the more people we get on board, the larger it becomes. And let me tell you, the way that we had done the fair, the Holistic Health and Wellness Fair, our second year, we kind of slimmed it down a little bit. And then our third year, we kind of refined it a little bit more. So it was actually smaller than our first year on our third year, which is not ideal. So my hope is that every year we have more and more people. It grows and grows and grows. And that prize pool for the cosplay contest gets even bigger. It would make my day if, as it stands now, I can't really say how much money we have dedicated to the prize pool. We only have a couple sponsors. But once everybody kind of comes through with everything else, all the other sponsors we get on board, then I could really say, okay, the prize pool's looking pretty good right now. And that's before people even start showing up to say, hey, I'm coming, I bought a ticket, whatever else. That's what we're talking about. So that'll be pretty excited. I'm very, very much looking forward to this. And like I said, it's going to be May the 4th at the Holiday Inn in downtown Binghamton. And we have the room from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. So I'm not sure how late it's going to go, but it'll certainly be going on for a couple hours. Hopefully everybody that comes, they find it worth it, they find it fun, and come down, spend some money with some of the vendors. Like I said, this is all curated towards people that are into anime or into nerd stuff, I guess, just like nerdy things, whatever capacity, whether it be video games, like I said, whether it be bobbleheads or figurines or magazines or not so much magazines, but like manga and comic books or anything, absolutely anything. So it's a very inclusive crowd. If you feel like you have something and you're not necessarily sure how it would tie in with like anything I've spoken about so far, we can talk about it. There are some things, I know there's some companies I've worked with in the past that I don't necessarily see doing well at something like this. It's just not necessarily like their realm. But that's okay. So, as things progress, hopefully it becomes a larger and larger deal. But like I said, if you have an idea, if you think like you'd want to be a part of it, or if you're not sure if you'd be welcomed, 100% you'll be welcomed, unless it's something like really obscure that I don't think is necessarily like in tune with what's going on. Say for instance, I can't even come up with an example, to say like, oh, we don't want this here. As many people as want to come, please come on down. I encourage everybody to try it out. I get it, it's not everybody's thing to do anime or to like nerd stuff, but just as well, come on down, try it out, give it a shot. If you like it, you love it, or if you like it, you'll like it, and I love it that you like it. So how about that? If I haven't said this already, I'm pretty sure I said this, but if you have any questions, you can comment just below. Or if you want to message me, whether on Facebook Messenger or TikTok or Instagram or wherever else, Discord preferably, because I could answer everybody kind of at the same time. But if you just have like a private or a private question, you can. What am I trying to say? If you have a question, you can private message me or comment on this video in any capacity. I will get back to you as soon as I can, which will probably be within a couple hours or like a half hour as soon as I see it. And we can kind of go from there. I'm a very inviting person. I do my best to work with a lot of small businesses and try to embolden the community that we have here. Hopefully that's satisfactory for everybody. We don't really have much else I have to say. I have been going live on TikTok. I have access to TikTok Live now, which is very surprising. Usually you need a couple things. You need to upload frequently. You need to have 1,000 followers, and I think like no strikes against your account. I have all that stuff. I don't have 1,000 followers actually. And I had seen actually, I suppose this is kind of funny. I had seen on my like 1 year ago today memories or something on the TikTok app, and it said that I was celebrating 300 followers. And I looked at that time and I had just over 500. And I'm thinking, wow, it's going to take a long time. That was a year ago. It took me a year to get 200 followers after it took me a year to get 300. It's like, goodness, okay, this is going to be a long time. So thankfully, TikTok thought that my account was, it's pretty PG for the most part. It's just socks. So they thought it would be a good idea to allow me live access early. And that's been very helpful, actually. So I go live now just about every day, and we go over a lot of things, whether it's advice for business, Socks with John, Binghamton and Anime, or the Binghamton Anime and Nerd Convention, Binghamton in general, the podcasts, whatever else, the Binghamton food reviews I talk about on there too. So by all means, if you would like to collaborate with John, or if you want to be on his team, if you want to work with the Binghamton Anime and Nerd Convention, I know it's a very mouthy name. I just call it the Nerd Con or the Anime Con or whatever else, but by all means, like I said, please hit me up. I'll do my best to do any type of promoting for people so that everybody gets a good chance when the convention actually comes around. And like I said, for the first year, we hope to have at least 300 to 400 people. Year after that, I hope it's even bigger. And the idea is that the better the fair, or sorry, I'm going to say that a lot, so forgive me. But the better the cosplay convention does, the better we do, the better we can do it every year. So that just makes everybody kind of feel good, So that's all I pretty much have for today. I don't want to be going on absolutely forever. I think this video is probably going to be about less than 15 minutes, which right on. That's pretty good. But that's pretty much it for me today. I don't even really want to call this a podcast, so I'll just say this is an update on the Binghamton Anime and Nerd Convention. We'll come up with a less mouthy name, because even saying because it's the BAANC, like that's no better than saying the Binghamton Anime and Nerd Convention, I suppose. The Nerd Con is fine for me, or the Anime Con is fine for me. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you as always for tuning in. As always, I'm John, and I will speak to you guys very soon, I'm sure. Take care for now. Adios, mis muchachos, and peace out. Peace out.